saying with Marco Polo, with the sound of the music, it lasts because it's
Yeah.
timeless. But I want you to explain on that level of it because, and obviously that was a little bit ago, more than a decade ago with execution
Mhm.
in particular, but how and when did you understand the value of investing in the music itself? Because even back then, so many people were using it as a hustle, as something to flip, to do all this other stuff instead of the music itself. So what
Well,
made you
that's
want?
this is all I have, man. Like, I've done jobs. I've worked, like top flight security jobs and, here and there. This is all I have though. This is all I ever wanted to be. So I have to make this work. You know what I mean? I had to. Now it's something I got a career. I've been doing it. This is what I do, but I had no other choice. I had to make this work. So this is what stuck to the most. Every time I had a job on the side, it was always, I'm just doing this for right now until I don't got to do it no more. You know what I mean? So this is all I'm about, man. This hip hop.
And what happened or what was taking place where you were able to not have to get a side job anymore?
Well, my hustle has always been heavy. You know what I mean? I'm a hard grinder. You know what I mean? Like all the time. I'm the king of the collabs for real, for real. If we really look up how many collaborations I got with artists, like all of these years, man, it'd be insane. And you know what I mean? I just love doing it. You know what I mean? It's not always about the money. It's just about I want to leave something, here for when I'm gone. Like, you got enough music to listen to from me. You know what I mean? Even if I don't come up with something new. Like if say I'm going tomorrow, fans will be listening to my music and they have so much to go back on. Like, damn, why I ain't never listened to him? You know what I mean? So that's all I'm doing, man. I just want to leave a legacy of dope music, man,
Yeah.
and music with a purpose too, because I don't just rhyme about hardcore shit. You know what I mean? I got a lot of Black Power songs, a lot of inspirational songs. So, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to talking about some of those. And as we get into it too, collaborations, since you have so many, one of the other ones was Rap Assassins. You got Ill Bill and a few other people on that one. But
Yeah.
that one, it was funny to me about guns don't kill people, stupid people kill people, but playing
Mhm.
off of that kind of slogan. So how did you develop or see or understand that adding some humor and some other stuff to super hardcore stuff works well?
Well, just from writing rhymes like that and seeing how people react, because before I was making music and laying it down, I was just writing a lot of rhymes and I was rhyming everywhere. You know what I mean? Like the streets was my crowd, block parties and just people on my block and my building or wherever I was at, you know what I'm saying? So you test stuff out and you see what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean? So I've known a lot of artists, like you could kill somebody and be super lyrical in a battle, and then they come right behind it with some humor, and it dead your whole shit. You know what I mean? You could be nicer to him and all that, but the way he said, you know what I mean, it got people laughing, and then you lost. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been a like straight 16 bars full of stuff like that. Like Sean P could do that. He's the best at that, bringing humor and hardcore, you know what I mean, together in the song, and you know what I mean, making you enjoy it. Like you'd be like, damn, and then you laughing at the same time. Like he was the master at that.
Yeah, and he did it even like with his album covers with Master P in particular. That was one of the funniest.
Yeah, and that's because that's who he was. Like Sean Price was Sean Price. He was not a rap facade or I mean, like that was his act or something. This is him in real life. He have you crying, and then he have the whole room scared. You know what I mean? Like he was that serious.
Yeah, gotcha.
Word.
No, that's for sure. Another great collaboration was The Walking Dead, and there's a bunch of people on that song. But I liked the playing with the movie stuff. Of course, a lot of people with the Rob with De
Hmm.
Niro and all that type of stuff. So, what
Yeah.
about injecting movies? Obviously, Robert De Niro's really known, but do you ever worry about some of your references, like people aren't going to get them, or they don't, like they won't?
Nah, nah. I never care about that. Like it's just like you should get it, man. You know what I mean? If you don't, you not some people not hip hop heads or movie buffs and stuff like that. But that's when I grew up listening to stuff, and if I didn't get it or I didn't catch it, I tried to find out what they were saying. You know what I mean? Some way. Like, oh, what is this? What does this mean? And then when I get it, I say, oh, now I know why he said it like that. I guess some people nowadays, if they just want to, if they don't get it, they just be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? But it's gonna always be there for the people that know. They know.
Yeah.
So I don't ever
Well,
worry about that.
it's funny you say that because I don't know why, but on Ain't No Half-Steppin' with Big Daddy Kane, I remember for the longest time I didn't understand that he said, so pick a BC date to your history. I thought he said like
Oh
P.
man, I knew that right then.
No,
Yeah,
I thought he said like PC or something else because I was always like, what does that even
yeah,
mean? And then one
yeah.
day,
It's a
like,
lot of that's a lot of songs that I caught up to it late too. Sometimes 20 years later, and I'm like, what?
no, it was literally
Yeah,
like it was literally a year or two later when I heard the song as a kid, and I was like, "Oh, that's what that." I was like, "How did
yeah.
I miss listened to it for like a year?" So that was crazy.
That's like hearing Milk D say that he was like suckers that's down with neither one of us. He said he was saying neither one of us, and I
Right.
thought everybody was saying suckers that's down with me, even though it didn't make sense. But that's what we was thought he said, so we was saying it. You know what I mean?
No,
That's crazy.
I was one of those people for a very long time myself.
Yeah.
O- Okay. And then with the hard body hip hop, you got the No Prince with the Rugged Man on there. And
Right.
one thing is you're talking about just getting paid and fuck the fame and different stuff like that. So
Mhm.
how do you balance being a hardcore underground artist with focusing on the money angle of the music business part of it?
How do I say it again?
Well, how do you balance that? Because most people, the perception is, I think it's not reality. It's that, oh, if you're in this for rap or whatever, it's just the love of the game as opposed to the business of it. Whereas you really need to master both creatively and a career as
Oh
well
yeah,
as
but
getting
it's always because this is my job, you know what I mean? So obviously I definitely want to get paid and I want to make sure all my paperwork is straight, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time I do love it because it's some things um I do it on the strength, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of artists out there that I've done verses for that I didn't, charge or nothing. Like this was on the strength because I thought they was dope or because I had that type of relationship with them. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I would do something that I know will open the door for me somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So I just do it just, you know what I mean? So you just gotta you'll keep that balance as long as you working, it's gonna come somewhere. You know what I mean? From somewhere.
right. Okay. And speaking of balance on the Ready to Jux, you got the Bottom to the Top, which is one of the more heartfelt songs that we talked about and stuff.
Right.
So what made you want to do that at that point?
Well, on almost every album I do that. I always have some reality rap to the song to the album and everything. And I just was talking about that's again, it's the beat. The beat told me, this is talk about something how you was growing up and my sister had passed a few years ago and it was still fresh on my mind, you know what I'm saying? And so I had to speak about her. Rest in peace to my sister. She passed away 2007 from lupus. You know what I mean? That was my only sister, my only sibling. You know what I mean? So we was really tight. You know what I'm saying? And she was an artist too. And so I had to touch on that, man. Word. That's why we
And
got her on the hook. That's her on the hook saying, you know, uh, from the bottom to the top. That was from a freestyle that she did.
yeah. And also with Bottom to the Top, talk about your dad passing from heroin and different things. It's a lot of
Right.
that song in particular deals with a lot of painful things, but I thought it was interesting because the way you presented it wasn't from a position of pain. It just was an interesting
Right. Right.
it
Like
didn't
I was just speaking my truth. Yeah. And talking about going on tour with Sean P. You know what I mean? And it wasn't for this is like some of the joints, some of them joint early on. That it wasn't for a lot of money. Like it'd be like $100, and but I was dead. You know what I mean? I needed that. I needed that. to be on tour with Sean. He was, Sean was just killing it, man. His fan base was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I was learning everything. I was learning how he dealt with the promoters, how he got on stage and performed to the crowd, how they received him, how to, get features on the side, how to it's a lot of side hustles in hip hop, you know what I mean? So I learned a lot from him from that. But one of the biggest things that I learned was performance. You know what I'm saying? I definitely sharpened my performance tool because I always thought I was good at performing, but I learned I wasn't as good as I thought. You know what I mean? So touring with him all over, that shit gave me, I learned everything, and then at the same time, now I could go back there by myself. You know what I'm saying? So all of that paid off, man.
And what was Sean P doing that you weren't doing that you kind of started implementing your own stuff?
Well, I didn't never do anything that he did. It just made me think of how to invent something for how the crowd can accept. Cause Sean could stand still and perform. I can't do that. I gotta move, and I get the crowd hyper like that. But it's just it's just the way you perform things and the way you put the emphasis on the words, and you know what I mean. Like I definitely learned that from him.
Okay. Also, with the bottom to the top, you talk about being hooked on hip hop from the first hit. So,
Yeah.
what was it about it that the first time made it so
I
attractive?
mean, it was everywhere in the streets, everywhere. Every time you go outside, somebody was playing music from I don't remember like early, you know what I mean, as a kid. But I remember when I was living on Kingston, I probably was 4, and everybody was playing hip hop all over, and it was on the radio. We could hear Marley Marl or DJ Red Alert, and my uncle came over. I think it was my Uncle Ray or my Uncle Sean, both of them, rest in peace. He came over, he had a tape that he taped, you know how you could just tape music off the radio, your favorite songs or whatever. And when he gave me that tape, man, I think he just left it there, but it was my tape after that. But when I had that tape, it was so many songs on there I fell in love with, like Stetson Sonic's Ghost Stetson. Um, Grand Pooba was with a group, Masters of Ceremony. It was a song called Cracked Out and Sexy. It was so many songs on there, man, and I was in love with that tape. And then that's what I started doing, buying TDK tapes, or well asking my mother for get a 99-cent tape or something, and I was recording, and you know what I mean. And sometimes you could record yourself. You know what I mean? You just put something in the tape, and you could record yourself. And I started saying the songs, memorizing the songs, and that's how I learned how long a 16 was supposed to be, just by listening. You know what I mean? So when I started writing later at 12, I knew how long I was supposed to stop. But I didn't know how to write it, on the paper correctly. Now I got lines, and I know that's it. You know what I mean? But I used to go by ear at first.
So you still write on paper?
Yeah. I write them out. I got my book over here. I just put a post up the other day, and I said, "Ain't nothing like a pad and a fresh notebook and a new pack of pens, man." Word.
So
I
did
can't write my rhymes in a tablet. I don't want to do it on the phone. I don't want to lose nothing. Like I go insane if I lose my rhyme. You know what I'm saying? For all these years, I've been pretty safe. I lost rhymes, in a book here and there, but for the most part, it's safe with me in my book.
so that being said,
I'd rather do it that way. I don't want to. I would hate to write something so crazy and I press something and it deletes it, or you know what I mean. I'll be like, man, I can't do it.
okay. And how
That's
do
just
you
me.